Here is the Microchip Curiosity Nano system that I will be working with. This video explains how I use the Arduino IDE to program and work with a Microchip Curiosity Nano, which is also supported by their IDE, the MPLAB X. And we will need that to actually program it because the Curiosity Nano does not have an Arduino bootloader. However, I wanted to use some of the libraries that are in the Arduino world. So here's the Arduino IDE, and what we need to do is install this board, this package from Niladri. So the way to do that is to go into the preferences, settings, and down here in the additional boards manager URLs, we type in the JSON message that installs this package. So this is it here. But it's also in the accompanying blog that you can just cut and paste. So I've already done that. So to select the board, we have to go into Tools and the Boards Manager here, and you're going down to the Curiosity Niladri SAM-E boards, and then you select the Curiosity Niladri SAM-E51, and it's the SAM-E51 J20A, and then it shows up here as your board. So you also need to select the chip, which is here, and it's in mine it's already selected as a SAM-E51 J20A. So now that you have it, the board selected, we need to compile it. And to do that, we will go into Sketch, and we will do this export compiled binary, so that it will create a binary file that we can import into the MPLAB. So if I click on that, it will go down here and compile. So it's done compiling, and so that's created a build file. And in order to see where that is, we can go into Sketch again, and you can do Show Sketch Folder. And so it shows you the folder that it's built. And what we need to do is find out where the hex file is. So it's in the build subdirectory, and there's a Curiosity subdirectory under that. We go in there and we see the hex file. Now you need to know the location of this hex file so that we can put it into the MPLAB. So we just need to remember that where this is. Okay, once we have the build file all set up, we need to go to the Microchip MPLAB X, and I'm just going to drag it on top here so we can see it. And if you have plugged in the Curiosity Nano, it will show up here in MPLAB X in the IDE. And what we want to do is create a project. So we're going to click on this folder over here, New Project. It pops up Microchip Embedded, and over in the right hand panel we can select pre-built hex loadable image project and hit next. So that will pop up another window, and we need to find the pre-built file name that we earlier built with the Arduino IDE. So we're going to that hex file that we located, and we're going to select that and open it. Then we have to select the family, which is done here, and most of these are Microchip PICs, but they have this one here, 32-bit MCUs, which is a PIC32C and SAM. So we have a SAM microcontroller, and we're going to pick that and select that. And then we need to select the device, which is our AT-SAM E, where are we, down to D, E51 J20A. So SAM E51 J20A, we select that, and then down here in the hardware tool we need to select this SAM E51 Curiosity Nano, because it has its own little program loader, and that's what this is. If you had a PIC 3 or 5 or something, a PIC kit 5, it would show up down here and you could use that to load, but this has its own loader, so we can select that and click next, and it pops up the file name that you selected as without the hex after it. It's got the location and all that good stuff, and all we need to do is hit finish, and it will create a project. So over here we've created this project. Still going. There it is. It's finished now. And you can look at in here and see the files that it's created. But all we really need to do is flash it onto the Curiosity Nano. So that's this little arrow here, and we click that, and we look down at the progress panel down here on the right hand bottom. You can see that it's calculating the memory ranges, erasing what's there, and then it's programming complete. And I'm just looking, and yes, it has finished programming and it's running. So it automatically reboots after running. And that's all there is to it. So it's a little bit more complicated than just using the straight Arduino IDE, but at least you can use the libraries that you can find on Arduino library all over the internet, and you can use the MP Lab to actually load the binary into the Curiosity Nano. So that works for me, and now I just have to get my program running properly. And here is what the program looks like when it's running. It says element 14, upcycling project utilizing Curiosity Nano. And then it comes up with the AIM65 file 1, and the up and down arrow buttons can select different files. So that selects AIM65 file 2, and if I go back up, I can select file 1 again, and these two buttons are in and out, so I can receive a file and put it into file 1 by hitting the receive button, and you can see it says receiving, going that way. Now if I want to send that file back to the AIM65, I hit this button and it says sending. So I can select the other file, file 2, and send it.
sending. So that's how this works. It will automatically overwrite whatever file name I have there with new data when I hit the receiving button. And then I can select a different file. I could scroll through any number of files. The AIM65 doesn't have a huge amount of memory, so it's not hard to save a bunch of different files. And I can just use these arrow buttons to select which one I want, and then I can either send it or receive it depending on which way I want to go. So I would like to actually connect this up to an AIM65, but I really have to get this blog out, and hopefully I can actually hook it up in the near future.